Star rookie who's been arrested following a high-speed police chase in Florida, now facing charges tonight, accused of hitting an officer with his car and what he allegedly did to a WNBA player. Here's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, the dramatic police takedown. New video showing officers in South Florida trying to arrest Atlanta Falcons star James Pearce Jr. after authorities say he led them on a chase following a domestic dispute with a WNBA star. Pearce, a first-round pick in the 2025 draft, now facing multiple charges, including aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Pearce seen leaving jail Sunday with his lawyers after posting bond. According to the affidavit, Los Angeles Sparks player Rickea Jackson told police Pearce intentionally collided with her car twice on Saturday outside Miami. Jackson stating she and Pearce had recently ended their relationship after dating for about 3 years. Authorities say Pearce hit an officer with his SUV and fled the scene. He later crashed his vehicle and after a short struggle was taken into custody. A judge ordering Pearce to stay at least 500 feet from Jackson at all times.
Yes, Judge, I understand.
David, the Falcons say they are aware of the incident. In a statement, Pearce's lawyer says he maintains his innocence and that the allegations are hardly the full, complete story. David.
Stephanie Ramos with us here tonight. Steph, thank you.
So I'm back. So I got to talk about my boy James crashing out over Rickea Jackson. Shout out to Rickea, Detroit born and raised. You know, she went to Detroit Edison, and that's downtown. Probably like really like around the corner, about a mile, 2 miles away from Cass Tech. You know, Cass Tech, a lot of famous people came from there, like Big Sean. So she, Detroit through and through. So shout out to Rickea. So, yeah, I don't even know where to start. Y'all seen the news story, and y'all probably didn't heard about this, especially if you big into the NFL and the sports world. So basically what happened, you know, James been dating Rickea for, they said, 3 years now. She was actually at the draft when he had got drafted by the Falcons. She was actually with him. They showed him on TV, and they've been dating. They went to the same college together. That's how they actually met. Where did they go? Dang, they went to a big college. I forgot. I think it was not LSU. Or was it LSU? But I can't remember. But basically, they went to the same college, so that's where they met and started dating and stuff. Of course, she on the basketball team, he on the football team. A common thing that happened. So apparently, the story goes from her end, because we haven't really heard his side of the story yet. They broke up, I think a couple months ago. He still been trying to get back with her. So she said she was driving a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini had pulled up on her. You know, usually it's a minivan or a van or something pull up on you when you finna get kidnapped. He pulled up in the Lambo to do the kidnapping. This is crazy. And at the red light said he had hopped out, tried to open her door. She had pulled off, and he had ended up chasing her, ramming his Lamborghini into her. And she had ended up calling the police. Police ended up coming. He ended up taking off. They had to chase him. They ended up catching him. And then, as you've seen in the video, it took like 8, 9 officers to get, you know, to actually arrest him. So he fully crashed out, full crash out. So I'm gonna break this down from 3 angles. First, well, he was just a rookie, so he got to be what? Like 20 years old, maybe something like that, I believe, early 20s. So we already done been there before, and he been with her since college. So they probably got together probably like 18, 19. So, you know, this might be his first love, first true love. We done been there. We know how it is. Unfortunately, I done crashed out a couple of times. I'm not gonna hold you up, never to this level though. Never to this level of pulling up, and I never was one of them pulling up, stalking, doing all like that's kind of a waste of time. But I didn't went off on a fair share of my exes. They know I didn't went off on them. I never put my hands on no female because it's never that serious. But of course, I didn't been in my feelings before. I didn't been upset. I done been trying to get a girl back. Like most men done been there, especially when they young. So that instance, I can't blame him, and it's debatable. What everybody's saying, all men saying is that, she must have that good. She must, this and that and this. Some people, when it comes to Rika, some people think she's beautiful. Like she had, since she done came out, she been one of the few WNBA players that, men actually attracted to, that they actually like. Some people say she's too skinny, blah, blah, blah. But, a lot of people think that she's an attractive woman, so and I do too. My only problem, Rika, is that all of the makeup. That's how, even especially when you playing the game, like I never understood that. Like, why are y'all wearing makeup on, like, in the middle, and y'all sweating and playing, like clogging y'all pores, like y'all caring too much about looks, and like, it's doing too much. That's the only thing that I have to really say about Rika. Besides that, she is a cute girl. She's still young. She still got time to thicken up. If Rika get thick, it's gonna be a wrap. But despite that, but I'm just saying that to say that, it's understandable crashing out over a bad bitch. If you want to, people consider a bad bitch, and like I said, a lot of people do consider her attractive. That makes it even more justified, of course. And then especially when it's your first bad bitch and your first love. So on that instance, I understand. But like everybody said, is that the problem is that, unfortunately, you in the NFL, you a superstar, you can't do this. Like a normal person, everyday person can get away with doing something like this. Like you risking millions, you risking your contract, you risking everything. That's why it looks even worse on you. And I get that it's hard when you're young, but he got coaches and people in his life that he should have been able to interact with. And he has to think about this, like you could lose everything. And I'm pretty sure people telling them that now. But when you in love and love is blind, like you don't care about nothing. Because it's one thing, like you said, he could have, resisting arrest, running from the police, trying to get in her car, stalking her, like you going to the next level. That's what I'm saying. Like I never went to that. I never went to that level. Like it's understandable. Okay, blowing up her phone, trying to talk to her, trying to get through to her friends. Even if you was to pop up, if she gets weirded out or scared, or like she's not trying to talk to you, then you kind of have to, back down, walk away. Like, it's all about how you do it. Because this is what I learned, that, and this is me when I was young, and I want to make it, I want to say this to the younger people who might be going through this, such as James. Learn from my mistakes, is that if you want a girl back, never come aggressive or crash out. Because even though some girls you might look at, find that attractive or whatever, but them, of course, the girls that you don't want. Most girls, because you have to think from the girls' position. Yeah, girls like toxic stuff, but when it gets to like crazy stalking popping up, every girl we know do fear of getting kidnapped or getting killed by an ex-boyfriend, because this does happen. This is kind of, I ain't gonna say it's a common thing like women want to say, but we know that this is something that didn't happen throughout history and throughout time. Plenty of ex-girlfriends have deleted themselves, deleted their ex-girlfriend they couldn't let go. We know that this do happen, and there is a lot of men who do put their hands on women. So women do always have to be kind of cautious when it comes to ex-boyfriends and dealing with dudes, because you never know when a dude will snap and do something to you. So on that standpoint, I do kind of get it. Then, like I said, popping up at her at the light, trying to hop in the car, hitting her car, like that is showing like you fully crashing out for real, like you crashing out. So I understand her point of being scared, and that's what you can't do. Like, and I'm telling the young people, like, because I used to go off on girls, be mad, when they breaking up with me, like, go off on them and stuff like that, and that never helps. All that do really do is push them away. Then you end up saying some stuff, oh, you ain't shit anyway, or yo pussy, like end up saying something that dig you a deeper hole. And then if y'all was to get back together, now you have to explain all of this negative stuff that you had said when y'all was beefing. So that's why it's best to, and a lot of dating coaches do say this, which it is true. It's easier said than done though. But the whole oh, not no contact. Like you look at most dating coaches say the best thing to do to get an ex back is no contact, and they say that give her time to miss you, let stuff die down. Um, like they say, absent make the heart grow fonder, and time do heal all wounds. That's why a lot of people do get back with their exes, and sometimes it be 6 months, sometimes it be a year, or y'all at least able to have a conversation because the heat of the moment and all of that have went away. I know the problem with me, and because my biggest problem is that yes, she's probably gonna be getting clapped in between that no contact and on break, because we know women move fast. James, you're gonna have to learn early with the red pill, and what me and been saying is that when women, by the time a woman break up with you or leave you, she already got your replacement in line. So we don't know. That could have been part of it too. Why he crashing out? He could have found out she dating another ball player, or she is in the WNBA. Maybe she going the other way. We don't know, but that might have been a reason for him to crash out. And then, like I said, I don't know why they broke up. Could have been because he was over possessive and clingy. We know that that's the number one thing that turned women off. Another thing for young dudes to learn, being extra clingy and all up on her. Like they say, women want what they would women want what they can't have. And that's been said since the beginning of time. Even humans to a certain degree, but especially women. That's why women chase the bad boy and chase the dudes that dog them out because they want what they can't have. James, you would have been better since you technically is in the NFL. You was a first round pick. Yeah, I think he was a first round pick. I would have been having the hose. And you in Atlanta, hey, I would have been having the hose and make her chase you. Now you might thinking this is the backward thinking of women as we see, but what you doing didn't work. And this is what men be saying because women don't get mad and say, "Oh, that's not the truth. Oh, that's dumb for him to do that." No, it's not because him doing this, he probably was faithful, clingy, all up on her, and look what happened, turned her off. Versus men who cheat and be having the hoes, they don't never have a problem. That's just the dark side of women. So I'm not saying you should have did either one, but I am saying you would have been better off not acting like you ain't give a fuck about her than to overly act like you care about her. And that's my lesson to men, especially young men. I don't care what no woman saying watching this video. I don't care about all of that. I'm telling you from experience. I've been in plenty relationships, situationships. I didn't have female best friends. I didn't study women. Like, if it comes to, and any man to tell you this, if you have to choose between the two, obviously you need to be in the middle. In a perfect situation is to um be in the middle. But if you have to choose between being overly clingy or acting like you not don't give a fuck, always go with the not give a fuck over the overly clingy. That's what I'm gonna say. So I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why they broke up, but yeah, and then he actually had a good rookie season. He could have won defensive rookie of the year because he had 10 and a half sacks as a rookie. And that's great. Like if at any year if you get 10 sacks, like 10 sacks is like the baseline for a good season, a great season. Once you get the 10 sacks, then if you get the 15, you had a great season, an all pro, one of the best in the race for defensive player of the year. Then if you get 20 sacks like Myles Garrett, you at the record because the record is Myles Garrett just broke it with 23. So, you in record territory. So 10 and a half sacks, especially as a rookie, is great. So he got a great future. As of right now, he'll be getting a big bag just off his rookie season. It's like millions, like you gonna throw that away. And you have to think like that's why I said it's more liable for a regular person. You gotta think like, yeah, I know you probably love Rickea. She was your first. You probably think that she looked good, but you about to be a fucking multi-millionaire. Like if you keep on having seasons like your rookie season, you gonna be down there getting paid 15 to 30 million a year. So you know how many women you can get like that. And I know it'd be hard because I was one of the people who criticized Chris Brown when he was crashing out over Carucci because like you Chris Brown, but I get it. I didn't been in love. I didn't been like you don't want to hear that. That's the only thing you focused on. You thinking about the memories. You thinking about her with somebody else. You not realizing who you is. But you just have to understand is that men been through this. Like I said, Chris Brown went through this with Carucci, and now look, he done moved on. Carucci done dated 5, 6 niggas since then. Like this is a part of life. Like it happens. Like yeah, you got to just realize that. People that been through this before. Like I always said, there's people who that been married and got a divorce. So and y'all don't even got kids. So just imagine if you had kids with her or y'all was married. People like there's people who didn't been through worse with their female than you have. So if they able to bounce back, you should. And then they don't have the luxury of having millions. That's the thing is that these people who had to break up with their girl or lose their girl, they didn't have a flock of women or a bunch of money and fame. You got money and fame to attract another woman, so it's easier for you. So that's just my advice to him. And then I forgot to say too, he is a defensive end. I know he's probably like 6'5", 240, 260. So that's even more reason to be scared. You seen it took 8 officers to take him down. Dude is a problem for real. So and then a lot of people have been on him in the comments saying that, oh, her brother should have did something to him. Like, I don't think it's that serious, even though he did crash out, but I think he just really in love, really love her or whatever. She did say that she will testify on him. So she is trying to get the nigga locked up. And that's why I said that that's kind of, a lot, especially from a Detroit female. A Detroit female kind of go by the code. So, but she still is a female. So she still, it ain't no snitching with females. That no snitching should only apply to men for whatever reason. But so she actually is scared and she is looking like she done. So, dude, I feel for you. We didn't all been there young, but you got a lot on the line. Like I said, you just had a great rookie season. You don't want to throw the millions away. Then they told me he charged with like 5 felonies. Money makes stuff go away, but you could get suspended for this. You know how the NFL, NBA is. Any of off the field, off the court type of stuff, they be willing to fine you, suspend you. Like you got a family. Like I know he got a mom. I'm not sure if his dad around. He probably got brothers and sisters. Like you got too many people dependent on you to be crashing out. Because imagine if you go to prison or the NFL or the Falcons cut you, the NFL suspend you, or just mess up contract negotiation because now you look like a troubled player. They do factor that in. Like, teams gonna find any reason they can to give you less money. So you gotta think about that. You gotta think about your future and your family. So, I'm wishing them the best. We'll keep tuned because I don't know if he's gonna go to prison. Usually stuff like this, especially when you got money, you got the good lawyers, he probably get probation. They already banned him from being in contact with her, so she probably got a PPO. So you just have to realize the relationship is over, and just hope that you get probation or community service or something. You're gonna get something just because the resisting arrest, then you then flee, and then like you then overdid it to where, like they said, you got 5 felonies, not one. Like these ain't even misdemeanors, so. You probably, like I said, and then it's on video, so you probably gonna get probation at the very least you could hope for is probation. And hopefully not no jail time. It'll be real harsh if they gave them jail time. I don't think they're gonna go that far. They probably just give them a PPO. You can't contact her. You gotta pay some bread, and then you on probation for like a year or um something like that, and you can't get into trouble. Now I don't know if he's gonna get suspended. The NFL is wishy-washy on that. So you better hope you don't get suspended for a couple games, no pay. You ain't even got your big contract yet. So that's my thoughts on this. I just wanted to talk about this and give a message to the young dudes, never fully crash out. I get it. We all human, but when it comes to like trying to delete her, delete yourself, come on now. There's other fit. That's the one thing that I have learned. Trust me. And like I said, even what Chris Brown had to learn, he didn't have. I think he didn't have baby mamas and everything after that. Like there are more fish in the sea. There will be another girl. I know it's hard when you're young and this your first, but there's other girls out there, especially when you're a millionaire. And I'm out.